Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Another video on Farming Simulator 25 and the Soup Empire series. Thought I was going to be overtaken by... is that an ice cream van? No, I think it's a mobile van. Yeah, I've been overtaken by an ice cream van. So we're on our way to do a contract. We've got the cultivator on the back. Looking at the cultivator makes me think that I need to buy myself a jet wash. That thing is filthy, as are all my tractors and all my gear. So I think at some point we'll get ourselves a little jet wash. Anyway, while we get the contract started, I'm going to do this one myself, not on the helper, just so we can introduce the video. The goal for today is to plant the two fields. If anybody saw the last episode, we bought a brand new field right near the farm. It wasn't the one right outside the farm that I've been using as a convenient driveway for the past 5 episodes. It was the one right next door to that, and the field was almost 100%, in fact I think it was 100% loam, which is fantastic. As you know, loam definitely gives you the best yield, and the yield potential on that field is 125%, which is good in my book. So the plan is to get that field planted up, get the field next door planted up, the one we harvested the cotton from all those many episodes ago, get the oat sown into that field. I'm tempted to buy a roller as well, just to make sure that we get the maximum little bonuses we can. I think the bonus for rolling your field is, it's only small, it's 2%. But with the goals, the big lofty goals we've got in mind, every little helps. If you're from the UK, as they say in Tesco, other supermarkets are available. So the goal will be to get those two fields planted, get them rolled. But that does bring into question the planter I will be using to do it, or the seeder I'll be using to do it. When I drilled the canola field many episodes ago, probably about 4, the drill that I was using, it wasn't a drill, in fact, that's the whole problem, it's just a seeder. It doesn't actually cultivate as it goes. So for those who maybe are new to Farming Simulator, or you're just checking out the game, a few little videos here and there, you can get essentially 2 or 3 types of seeders. You can get seeders that cultivate the ground as you're doing the seeding, and you can get ones that don't do that. Now, if you have one that doesn't cultivate, like mine, you have to go over the field twice. Once with one of these things that you can see on the back of the tractor right now, just to prepare the ground for planting. You've got to go over it with that, and then you've got to grab your seeder, fill it with seed. Mine can take fertilizer at the same time, which is handy because you can pop in fertilizer to fertilize as you go. But essentially you've got to make 2 passes around every field, and that doubles the amount of time that you're spending in your field. Now if you look in the top right hand corner, guys, we've got a little bit of cash. This is good. This is from doing contracts and selling the odd bit of gear that we don't need. So we can actually afford to trade in our planter for something a little bit more useful that will also, it will cultivate at the same time. So it will cultivate, it will drill the seeds into the ground, and it will fertilize at the same time, turning 3 passes on the field into just 1, which I think is well worth it. And I've got a planter in mind. I'm saying planter rather than seeder because it is a planter. It can do corn and sunflower, as well as being able to do the oats and the wheat, the combinable crops that we want to do in our fields for this year. Remember, this year we're trying to make enough money to make a good dent in getting us that canning factory in town, and that's the whole goal of the series, is to flip that canning factory into a £1 million a year business using our own produce. So I think that's going to help us trade in the old seeder. I've already checked it out. It's worth about 77,000 if I sell it just through the menu. But you get a bit more than that if you take it down to the shop, get it repaired, and sell it directly at the shop. If you do that, you get a little bit more money. So that's what we're going to do once we've done this cultivating contract. We'll do a few jobs around the farm because we can't actually plant this month. It's currently January. The oats can't go in until I think March, so we're going to have to sleep at least twice into March before we can get to the point where we can do that drilling of the oats. So we'll get this contract done. We'll head back to the farm and do a few little jobs. There's a couple of things I want to do, like clear the tomatoes away from the greenhouse. You'll know we're stockpiling the tomatoes ready for the canning factory. As and when we're able to make that purchase, we'll have a nice big stack of tomatoes ready to go. We're not selling those, we're keeping them. The greenhouse, I did notice when I checked before recording, was running a little bit low on the old water, so we're going to head down to the stream where we've been gathering our water from, pick up another barrel full, go back and pop that in just to keep it going for a couple more months, making those beautiful tomatoes. Remember, we are also making money from lettuce. The greenhouse is doing a little bit of lettuce, and it's doing a little bit of tomatoes. So we are making money off it, and we're also stockpiling those beautiful little red fruits. Fruits? They are fruits, aren't they? Because they've got seeds. Is that right? Yeah, I think a tomato's a fruit. Or tomato is a fruit. So we'll go back, we'll do those few little jobs, and then we'll head down to the store with the planter or seeder and trade it in for a better model. It's actually a bigger model as well. It's actually the one I've got my eye on, which we'll have a look at in the store a little bit later on. I think it's 6 meters as opposed to 4. So not only will we only have to go over the field once, it'll be a bit quicker to go over the field because it's that little bit wider. So put us on a time lapse. We'll finish up cultivating this field, and then we'll head off and we'll start to think about doing our other jobs. And I'll see you guys back at the farm. So here we are, guys, home sweet home, cultivating contract all done. There's a gentle dusting of snow starting to fall, I believe. Did you see those few little dots in the air? Other than that, they're in the upside down maybe, I don't know. And we're going to have a crack at reversing this thing. And again, it's becoming a common theme in this series, watching me try to reverse a piece of equipment into a shed. Although this one looks to not be going so bad. Touching the reverse, a little bit of right to go left, left to go right. Perfect. Almost like I know what I'm doing. I don't. I'm not very good at reversing. So let's collect the money from the contract. Autosave. Quick sip of tea for those who know. We'll just let the saving content thing. We're going to collect the money for the contract. You'll also notice, if you were looking in the top right hand corner, that the money was on 69,000 and had gone up to 70,000. That's because we'd ticked over an hour and we got some money from the greenhouse. As I mentioned before, we're selling the lettuce and we're stockpiling the tomatoes. Let's just check how much water it's got. It's less than half, probably worth putting a little bit more in, I think. But let's go sleep. Let's get ourselves into February. No need to get up too early. People that know me in real life know that I don't like to get up too early. So a nice 11 o'clock start. That might give us a chance of having a decent contract or two that we can get a worker on while we do the odd jobs around the farm. And yes, that was definitely snow. Welcome to a snowy February morning in Castile and Leon. First things first, let's feed Ghost. And his food even appears with snow on it. I'm sure he won't mind. Eats anything, that dog. Where is he? Where is he? Here, boy. Here, boy. Come on. There he is. He's on his way. He's on his way. I love that when you put some food in his bowl and he comes herring over and he's going to paw slide just like that right into his bowl. Brilliant. Good boy. Right, let's have a look at the contracts. Yeah, I don't fancy any of those. Wood transport. Let you into a secret, guys. I do those, but I tend to cheat by using auto load. For those of you who know what that is, it's a mod that allows you to set up a trailer in a certain way that you can just hit a shortcut on your keyboard, and anything that is loadable next to your trailer just automatically goes onto it. And it was almost like one of those epiphany moments when I discovered that it works with the tree stump logging moving thing. What are they called? Wood transport. It works with that. You can pull up. There's a few little nuances. If you pull in a double trailer, for example, you've got to release the back trailer, fill the first one, reconnect to the back one, fill the back one. So there's a couple of little nuances to it, but it's a really nice little cheat. I mean, a really nice time saver that allows you to do these wood transports, because they can be quite lucrative, guys. If you get the big ones, they can pay you £6,000-7,000, and if you can load them all up just by pressing Shift and R, is it Shift and R? Shift and R, whatever key combination, easy money. I always do it off camera so you guys don't know I'm cheating. So that'll be our little secret. There's no need to tell anybody else that we do that. I love the fact that these tomatoes are about 2/3 covered with snow. I'm not entirely sure what happened with the other third, and even the ones underneath appear to be covered with snow. But these are slowly racking up. We've got 12 pallets now. When we wake up in the morning, we are going to probably power through February, if I'm being honest. There's not a lot to do. Certainly nothing to do in our fields. We can't sow our oats just yet. We're going to need to wait until March to do that. So we'll probably sleep through this snowy month. And we'll have another 4 pallets. They come out at 4 a day, basically, these pallets. But like I mentioned in the previous episode, it was just quite nice to be able to pick them up by hand and move them, really, rather than having to rely on auto load or super strength, or heaven forbid, try to use a front loader. Let's just check the water. Anything in there? It doesn't tell you if there's anything there, actually. Yeah, down to 7,000, so I think we'll do a water run this episode as well, just to get that greenhouse nicely topped up. But for now, let's go to sleep. Let's go a little bit earlier this time, because we have some work to do in our fields tomorrow morning. Short day today, though. All we did was feed the dog, gathered up the tomatoes, and went to bed. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Looks like it might be a nice clear day. No, it's pouring with rain. Alright, no problem. That's not going to stop us. Down to 4,000 in the greenhouse. Definitely needs a fill. That's not going to stop us stacking the tomatoes. You've already seen me do this a few minutes ago, so I'm just going to put this on a very quick time lapse, and I will see you guys in a moment. All done. Just a little tiny job, but it does need doing. Get those tomatoes stockpiled up. Let's have a look at this planter situation. So I want to show you the one that I want to get. If you scroll down here, it's this lizard one down here. It's only 55,000. It does the fertilizer, as you can see, and in the description it does tell you that the seeder offers the possibility to seed directly, so you don't need to do any prior cultivation. So that one is ideal. If we look at the one that we own, this one that we own is worth, if I can find it, it's around here somewhere. Where's it gone? I'm sure it was in the farm here somewhere. I can't see it. Let's have a look at the vehicles menu. I didn't already sell it, did I? Pottinger, that's the one. No, I still own it, apparently. It's worth 77k, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. 100% condition, so it doesn't actually technically need a repair. We've only used it once. And it was brand new when we inherited the farm. It came with the farm, if you remember. It's part of the sell price of the farm. And I think I've remembered where it is. I think we just dumped it in a field, ready to go last time. I think we filled it with seed, and we were going to get going with it before I had the incredibly bright idea of buying a direct drill instead with that little bit of money. We're up to 81,000, by the way, guys. Pretty good. Make a nice little bit of money overnight on the old lettuce. So there's one of our fields to our right. It's limed, as you can see. It's cultivated, it's ready to go. The seeder, here it is. It is on the Kubota. We're going to have to move this Kubota out the way, because the planter that we're going to buy requires, I believe, 200 horsepower, and this Kubota is not quite as powerful as the steer tractor behind it. So we're going to take the steer down there, and then we'll probably seed the first field ourselves. I've got this little rule. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but it's just a little rule that I have, that every new piece of equipment that I buy, I always use it first. So I get to my field, I'll always plant the first field with a new planter, roll the first field with a new roller, and all that kind of stuff. So I'll always do a field with a new piece of equipment, and then after that, just to get a feel for it, how it operates, and what it looks like, and just enjoy the visuals. Even in the pouring rain, just dumping the seed there. We'll pick that up again when we come back with the new one. Even in the pouring rain, just enjoy the visuals of the new piece of gear, and then after that, I'm happy to put it onto a helper, a worker. But I always like to try it out myself first. So we're going to head down to the shop. We're going to sell this. If you remember from the menu, it was offering us about 77,000. But like I mentioned, if you play Farming Simulator, you can sell from the menu if you need the money real quick. But if you've got the time to make a trip down to the shop with the gear and sell it there, they always give you a little bit more money down at the shop. Little tip for you guys there if you didn't know that. head down to, it took me about 3 months to playing Farming Simulator to realise that. But we're going to head down. I'm just pulling up here briefly, and I have to say this is for a, let me lean in and say this quietly, a little toilet trip in real life. So we'll just pause there for a moment, just while we do that, as you can see, a very little one. And off we go again. So we're going to head down to the shop, we're going to go through, we're going to buy the new planter, see what kind of options we get with our new planter. Mind the rocks. We're going to sell this one. We will probably even make a little bit of profit, because they're going to give us somewhere north of 77,000 for this seeder, and the new one's going to cost us 55. So we're actually going to have a brand new machine that is technically better than the one we have, and they're going to pay us £20,000 for the privilege. So I think it's a win-win. Bigger planter, fertilizes as it goes, cultivates as it goes, unlike this one, and 20,000 in the bank. So thank you very much. I will see you guys down at the store. Here we are, we made it to the store. If my wife ever watches these videos, she'll tell me off for using the word store. That's an American word. You're an Englishman. Well, you guys know what I mean. We're at the store, the shop, the dealer. We're here. So we're just going to back into the repair area here. We'll hop out of the tractor, and we'll see if it needs a repair. I don't think it does. It was 100%, I think. Let's have a little look. £8. Might as well. Let's see what we get when we sell it at the store. 77,000, 85,000. There you go, guys. If you needed proof to bringing it down to the shop to get it sold directly at the shop, £8,000 extra just for making the short trip down here. Love it. As you can see, we're up to 166k, but that's going to disappear very, very shortly. Or not disappear, but a lot of it's going to disappear shortly. We're going to buy this beautiful thing. So we'll just look at the tyres. I don't like the default tyre that it comes with. I like something a little bit chunkier. Oh, that looks good. The Trelleborg ones. They look pretty decent. Rim colour, we can change it. What about silver? How's that look? Yeah, I like that. That looks okay. But there you go, guys. Beast of a machine. Let's buy it, and we'll go outside and we'll pick it up. Now, one of the things that I know about this, because I've seen this one being used, I think in a dagger winning chainsaw video, it's got two connectors on it for your 3-point connection thing on your tractor. It's got one that you actually use when you're doing the seeding, where the thing is perpendicular to your tractor, and it's got one for pulling it, where it's parallel to your tractor. And if you connect to the one that's parallel, which will allow you to pull it down the road, you can make use of the little wheels on the side. If we have a little look at it, you can see that there's two little wheels, not these wheels, but the wheels down on the left hand side there. They will lower the little arm that you connect to do the seeding, will fold in, and you can pull it down the street. Now, in case it's not obvious, I actually record my commentary after I've played the game. I think I'd like to get into live commentary while I'm playing at some point, but right now, as a brand new YouTube series and this is all brand new to me, I find it easy just to concentrate on playing and then just talk over the commentary as we go. I'm about to make a big mistake, and that mistake is I've connected to this part of the tool, and it is ready to go seeding. I don't want to be connected to this part of the tool. I want to be connected to the part of the tool that's on the right hand side as well, looking at it just there. And if I connect to that right hand side, that's when I'm in the parallel mode and I can pull it along the street and not take out a bunch of cars on the way. I'm just loading it up at the fertilizer currently, in case you wonder what's going on. You're not seeing that green bar on the lower right is moving. Alright, so here we go. Now, I believe in order to get this to work, you need to fold, which will basically bring the little transport wheels down, raise it up so that you can transport it, and then you connect up to the other 3-point link on the other side, and you're good to go. So I'm looking in the menu for the fold seeder, and it tells me that folding is not allowed while I'm connected to this attachment, and I cannot detach while I'm folding. So I try not folding, which is not allowed because I'm connected, and now I'm not allowed to detach while it's folding. And I'm in a bit of a pickle here, guys, because I can't stop it from folding and I can't detach while it thinks it's folding. So I'm stuck. So this is me trying to reset the equipment back at the shop and try and connect to the other linkage. it's not letting me because it's attached to the tractor. If there's another way of resetting things, I'm looking in the menu here to try and find if there's another, like a right click or an option to reset, but I think you can only do it through the map. And I can't click it because I'm connected to it. So, I'm going to go round the houses for about 30 seconds, and then you're going to see what's going to happen, guys. I'm just going to have to give up, reboot the game, and see if that sorts the problem for me. Because I'm stuck in a circle here. I can't detach it while it's folding. I can't fold it because I'm attached to the wrong thing. Now, if that's a problem with the mod, maybe let's give it a save. We'll give it a quit. I won't make you watch me reboot the game. I'll join you guys in a few moments, and we'll see if that sorts it. Okay, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. For anybody watching, that was about a 5-second transition. For me, that was an entire day. And the reason for that is I recorded about an hour's worth of footage. The reboot didn't work, by the way. I ended up having to basically sell the thing and rebuy it. So I lost a bit of money there. Not much, but I lost a bit of money there. I had to sell it, rebuy it, and then figure out how to work it. So I got connected to the right 3-point linkage this time, and was able to get it to unfold with the transporting wheels, get it transported up here. And just to keep you in the know, I planted the oats in the field next door to this one, to the left of this one. I've planted the oats in this one, and as you can see, I also bought a brand new roller. I mean, who doesn't need a roller, right? We talked about a roller at the start of the episode. You could call that foreshadowing, or you could call it just knowing what I'd done, because I'm recording this after the fact. But yeah, I bought a little roller. Well, it's quite a big one, actually. You know, in the base game, there's only those 2 rollers, really. There is this one, and there's a blue one, which is about the size of the moon, and needs a tractor of the same size to pull it. So this is really the only option. But I did go for some funky little black, plasticky, metal-looking things on it, which I've not done before. I mean, I don't know if they do anything, but it makes it look interesting, I suppose. There's just a whole row of them on the front of the rolling device. You can see them there. But yeah, this was 65,000, I think. So the money's down to 46,000. It was up over 100,000, but we bought the roller. I think it's well worth doing, because you do get that bonus. I think it's a 2% bonus. I could be wrong, but you do get that bonus for rolling your field. And we need as much cash as we can get our hands on to get as close to buying the canning factory as we can. The goal of the series. So we'll fold up, and then we'll head back. We'll park this roller up somewhere, and I think just to finish off the episode, because I lost all the footage, let me tell you what happened. I figured out how to use the thing, and in my excitement of figuring out how to use the thing, I forgot to press record. Now, I've got to be honest, guys. This is episode 6. Let me just show you this field. You can see it's planted with oats, it's growing, it's been rolled, and our expected yield is 123%. Absolutely brilliant. Can't ask for more than that. Well, you could ask for 125%. But where that last 2% is going to come from, that's anybody's guess. Anyway, forgot to press record. And as I say, I'm 6 episodes in, brand new at this YouTube thing, and it's the first time I forgot to press record. So do you know what? I don't think I've done too badly. And it's probably, I don't know, you'd have to ask somebody who's been doing YouTube for a while. It's probably some sort of rite of passage that at some point you forget to press record, right? I don't know if anybody who's made it this far watches GeoWizard. I love GeoWizard, love his videos. He does GeoGuessr, and he does, you can send him an old photograph and he'll try and locate where your grandparents were stood in this photograph and that kind of thing. Absolutely brilliant. But he's known for at least once an episode at the beginning, just checking to make sure he's actually recorded. And I can see why, having made my little mistake yesterday evening. So after that, I thought, do you know what? It's getting late. We'll finish this off tomorrow. Here we are today. Let's see if we can reverse this in. Go left to go right to go left, and all that other good stuff. Looking good so far. Looking good. Looking like we're going to hit the side of it. Okay, perfect. Let's have another little go. All right. Not too bad. Considering when I first started playing this game, I couldn't do that. I didn't know how to reverse it. Don't get me wrong, I know how to reverse a car in real life. You know, I'm a middle-aged man. I know how to reverse a car. reversing pieces of farm equipment. Never done it before, if I'm being perfectly honest. Anyway, feed the dog. There we go. We won't hang around for him this time, but I want to show you a discovery I've made. This is a well. So you know we've been, in the last couple of episodes, we've been heading down to the ford, down by the stream to fill up the tanker. We didn't need to do it. There is a well right here on our property. So we'll be using that from now on. I've tested it, it works. We just had a look in the greenhouse. It's 19,000 litres out of 20,000, so we're good to go. But there's absolutely no need to be going to the ford anymore. In the river. We can literally just pop over to the well, fill up, works perfectly, and just drop the water off there and then. Just checking the status of the fields. In terms of nitrogen, I mean, that field up there, field number 3, that looks like one of those t-shirts that you used to make in the 70s and 80s, doesn't it? Those tie-dyed things. So the problem with field 3 is we didn't roll it, we didn't put pH on it, put lime on it. We just planted directly into it just to make a little bit of fast money, really, with the canola that we've got currently growing in there. So that one's not going to yield fantastically. But it will yield for us, and we should get a half-decent crop out of it. So I think just to finish off the episode, because of the complete loss of the footage of the sowing and rolling of the 2 new fields that we've got, they are fully planted and ready to go. We'll probably have to weed them next time. Well, actually, we'll need to weed one of them because we cultivated it. We won't need to weed the other one because we ploughed it. If you plough a field, weeds don't appear. You drag them all out by the roots and they don't appear. If you cultivate a field, then weeds do appear. So we'll probably have one field to do next episode with the weeding. But for now, I think we'll take a quick contract. We've taken up a baling contract. It's not 100% straightforward how we get to the field. I think we need to take a left out of the garage or left out of the dealer, take a few dirt roads, and we'll get up there. I think bale wrapping is one of those contracts where it's really easy. You can't put it on a worker because the worker doesn't understand where the bales are. You have to do these ones yourself. You haven't got a choice. You know, like with a mowing contract or a harvesting contract or a cultivating contract, you can basically put a worker on it, and that helper will go and do the contract for you because it understands how the field is laid out. Bale wrapping is not like that. Bale wrapping, you've got to do it yourself. You can't get an AI worker to do it. So we're going to head up there. I think we take a left just here. Yeah, we do. Somebody's repaired all the signs, by the way. I don't know if anybody's seen any of my other videos, but I tend to knock signs over. But I think every time you sleep, some local council person comes around and puts them all back in the ground for you. Because I normally leave a wreckage of road signs behind me as I'm driving around. I've not been up here before. It's an interesting little location. But all these bars are for. This feels like animal pastures. You know, a place where you'd keep your cows or something. Actually, that's worth talking about. I have been toying with the idea, with a little bit of money, of purchasing a small field. There's a couple of fields that, looking at this map here, fields 12, 16, 11, just on the left-hand side in the centre of the map. They look like fairly small fields, and I'm toying with the idea, because it's such a good money maker, of getting a field of goats. Because they don't take much looking after, to be honest. And in fact, the last map that I played, the Saxlingen map that I played, it's the one before last actually, the goat enclosure that I put in didn't even need any water. They had a meadow that they ate the grass in, and you could pile a bale or two in there to keep them going over the winter. But they didn't actually require any water. Now, I don't know if that was a feature of the type of goat enclosure that I built. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I didn't have to bring any water to them. Now, if I build a goat enclosure that does need water, that's not a problem, because we've got a well, as we discovered earlier on. Very, very handy thing to have on your property. But I think it'd be a good money maker, actually, because the goat's milk actually sells for really, really good prices. And I've made a fair bit of money on that in the past. I think I'm enjoying making this series, guys, and I think once this series is finished, I will probably do another one. And I'd like to get a bit more into animal husbandry and just understanding the way animals work in this game, because there's all sorts of animals, you know, sheep, cows, pigs, goats, chickens, fish, all sorts going on with the animals. But the only animal that I've ever really done any farming with is the goats. So I'd like to learn a bit more about it. I watch videos by, Daggerwin and the likes, where keeping cows just looks really complicated. The total mixed ration, and you've got to put some hay in, some grass in, some silage, some blah 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 in this thing, and mix it all up and make this stuff to make your cows as healthy as possible. And it just looks quite complicated, but I think that complication doesn't scare me, doesn't faze me. So I think it'd be interesting to learn about and to figure out what needs doing there. Because like I say, it's not something I've ever really done before. I might give it a go in a future series or a future video. Not for this series. This series, as you know guys, if you've seen any of the videos so far, all about the soup. It's all about that soup. No animals. Apart from maybe goats, and that's just for money making purposes. So I'm toying with that idea. I'll mull that one over, and we'll see how much the field costs to actually make it. I mean, here's an idea. We could put the goat enclosure in the farm, because I've got a huge courtyard. Let me mull that one over, guys. I'll have a little think about that. Let me finish up this baling contract just to finish the video. It's worth a few thousand. I think it's about 9,000, this contract that we've taken up here. So it's going to take a few minutes. And as soon as it's done, I'll come back to it and we'll wrap up the episode for this time, guys. There we go, guys. Baling all done. There were quite a few, so it did take a little bit longer than usual, but we get a good payout for this, which we're going to collect in a minute. Hoping to get back into a bit more of a regular schedule of posting videos. The first 5 came out in relatively quick succession. This one's taken a couple of weeks. Simple reason: the World Cup. I'm a big football fan, and I've been watching an awful lot of footy on an evening. But hoping to get back into making more farm sim videos, get back into playing the game. Now that the matches are fewer and far between. England's still in it. Come on, England. Wednesday against Argentina. Can't wait. Can wait. The last game was so stressful. Anyway, guys, if you've made it this far, a like and a subscribe are much appreciated. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.